Good morning. Going to be going live in about 3 minutes. Have the brand new microphone, so that noise should be solved. Have a brand new Rode microphone for this. So the noise problem will be gone. Going live in 3 minutes. Good time to start stacking your questions now. You can jump in by commenting on the live stream, or you can text your question to 480-712-4177. Be live in 3 minutes at 9 o'clock straight up. See you in a couple minutes. Just 2 minutes away. I will be there doing my final 30 seconds of getting the coffee ready. Again, if you have a comment or question, you want to jump in, now is the time to do it. You can text your question 480-712-4177. Jump into the live stream. I've dropped the link in the comments, or you can comment on Facebook and I will bring you into the live stream. So I'll be live in about 2 minutes. Remember Annie, Orphan Annie, I think, right? Remember that song, It's a Hard Knock Life? One of these days, I'm going to make a music video called It's a Startup Life. It's a startup life for us. Anyway, good morning. Hope you are doing well. Had a really interesting offline question yesterday, and I'm going to adjust this. I'm standing up again because my energy was really good yesterday when I was standing. But the offline question is, how come you didn't wear your glasses? And it's interesting. The reason I chose not to wear my glasses yesterday was because I just was talking from here, but I found that something remarkable happens when I don't wear my glasses. I can't focus on anything on my screen. And the only thing I see is the live stream, and your comments are real hard to see. And then I pop them on the screen, so they're a surprise. But it allows me to not be super distracted because I have have you ever seen The Office Mega Desk? So I have kind of like Mega Desk set up in my office, and it's really, really distracting. So I'll just humor you and show you kind of what I have as my setup, because several of you have actually asked that question and I haven't answered it. What does my setup look like? Why is it set up? It's interesting, the questions that people want to have answered. So here is what Mega Desk looks like in my office. There you go. So now you know that's what I stare at all day long. It's the non-glamorous side of the office, I guess, is what it is. So this morning when I woke up, I was looking at some of the questions that I get from different people, and I realized that a lot of them have to do with entrepreneurship and starting businesses and being a startup and what startup life is like. And I've noticed that there's a trend in, I don't want to say younger people, because older people have it too. And it's this disillusioned what startup life really is. And some of them think it's, you work a couple hours a day on your side hustle, and then you build it into something, and then you work 2 hours a day or an hour a day on your business, and it just runs magically by itself. Listen, there's a lot of people selling a lot of bullshit out there about how you can have, the perfect life, sit on the beach and run your business and work an hour a day. Okay, that to me is not running a business. That to me is running some scammy sales thing, and you're not really running an operation. I have my opinions about that. I'm missing a bottle of liquid amber gold. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Stella, thank you. You are missing a bottle of liquid amber gold in that setup. I'm sorry you've missed watching me, and I'm glad you're back. And yes, no, there's no whiskey in the office this early in the day. Well, it's in the office. It's just not here right now. So that's why you're not seeing it. But in startup life, there's this, misconception that startup life is either you work a little bit or you super fund and everything is rosy and peachy and you build this just amazing business like overnight. And there couldn't be anything further from the truth. For those that think that building a new business, a startup, is that easy, I want you to understand that with startups come challenges, come heartaches, setbacks, and it at times can be an incredibly lonely journey. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about that. And I don't know why. As everyone's been going through this pandemic, I'll take away from this the political debates, and let's focus on the human beings that are involved in this, which is you, me, and everyone else. There is a loneliness that has kind of fallen upon people that are isolated by this whole pandemic and being sheltered in place. And that loneliness is something that's foreign to a lot of people, but actually very common and known to entrepreneurs, except that they don't talk about it. And that loneliness and that isolation is something that is incredibly dangerous to your startup, because when you're building a business and you're struggling to build something remarkable, it can be very isolating. When I wrote my book, I talked about, and so my book was written in 2018, how the term entrepreneur is incredibly overused and it's glamorized, and everyone wants to be an entrepreneur or likes to call themselves an entrepreneur. And, you'll see the guys that are super flashy, that are driving in their cars and showing their pictures with their, hot girls and flashing dollars and $100 bills. The reality is that that's one little tiny micro area of entrepreneurship. And I call them douchepreneurs because that's all they do is flash. And that's my term. And whether you like it or not, it is what it is. But entrepreneurship seems to be glamorized these days. It's idolized. And the things that people don't talk about, I want to talk about because they're real. And so I want to jump right into the isolation and loneliness, because that's what we're all feeling right now with this COVID. And, entrepreneurs all have traits and have the ability to go deep and do it alone and do things on their own and take the reins. And most of us have the ability to just create something because of who we are. But the loneliness, the isolation of building that, there are lots of people out there who want to give you advice on what to do and how to build your business. And they have the best of intentions, but no one's actually doing the work but you. No one's working on this thing, this startup that you're trying to build. No one's up at 3 a.m, 4 a.m. Oh gosh, I forgot his name, who was on with me from New Zealand the other day. 4 a.m. there, and he's still awake doing work because they're not in the trenches with you. They're not the ones that are up at night. They're not experiencing the hardships and the heartburn, but they're also not experiencing the joy, right? We do this. It's a labor of love for us to build our businesses. And, entrepreneurship being glamorized makes people think that it's going to be the best thing ever. Like they're going to make $1 billion. But what they don't talk about are the people who are building a business that are depressed, that are suicidal, that don't enjoy life. And I think that's something that is really, really challenging and heavy for the entrepreneur community. I will tell you that, and I've shared this also in my book. There were times in my business, in my journey, as I've grown my business, and now I'm adding more businesses to the portfolio of businesses, that that darkness has crept in. And I've thought to myself, I just can't do this anymore. And I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't have anyone to share that with. And those feelings, I couldn't even talk to my wife about this. And it's so lonely and can be so isolating that you don't know who to talk to other than a therapist. And you don't want your friends to think you're crazy, and they may not even understand. When you reach out to people and you say, hey, this is what's going on, this is how I'm feeling, it's really uncomfortable. People don't like to talk about mental health, and everybody puts on this front of, hey, look at me, I'm doing great, and I'm a baller, and I've got my Lambo, and I've got my cash, right? But that's not the reality, because behind that is this isolation. It's the story that they're putting out there. It's what they're sharing with the world. And so sitting in an office by yourself, you've got your own thoughts, you've got your feelings. It can be scary. And I know from my experience that your mind can really fuck with you. Like, I'm trying to share examples of this, but the dark side, the ugly side of entrepreneurship is it has one of the highest suicide rates. And again, it's the stuff that people don't talk about. And it's because of the isolation. It's because your friends don't understand what you're doing. It's because you're sitting in a room by yourself 10, 12, 18 hours a day, and you've got nothing but this to keep you company. And entrepreneurs tend to have really, really high highs, like incredibly high. Like when things are going great, it's amazing. But then, and I experienced this yesterday, I went from just this amazing peak state yesterday. I felt great coming off of my live. And then some things happened later in the day, and I got emotional, and things weren't working well, and I was sad. And last night I was just in a funk, like a really bad funk. And that's part of what drove this today. And I know that today is going to be a turnoff for a lot of people, and I'm okay with that. It's not a turnoff for the people who need to hear it. And, you have to be able to share those experiences and those feelings with someone. When you go through the emotional roller coaster of building a business and your friends don't understand because they haven't built a business, it's really isolating. Your friends might be working 9-to-5ers, and they don't have any idea. When their workday ends, they go on with their life, but your workday doesn't end, right? They can't relate to starting a workday at 5 a.m. and being excited and pushing through to 11 or 12 at night and being amped up for it. That's just not how they're wired. So when you have these emotional roller coaster days, it's really difficult. So one of the things that I'd like to share with you that I shared back when I wrote my book, Jab Till It Hurts, is that you need to start building a community. You need to start building a network of entrepreneurs that you can reach out to, that you can call upon. Let me be one of them. If you're feeling that darkness, that heaviness, connect with me, DM me, Facebook, whatever. I don't care how you get to me, but don't go it alone, because going alone is how people wind up in a dark pit of despair. And it's how people wind up on the wrong end of life-changing and life-ending decisions. When you're sinking into a pit, you need to extract yourself from what's going on. You need to get out of that darkness. You need to get out of that cave, leave the office, and you need to call a friend. You need to interact. And right now, interacting and connecting with other people is kind of challenging. So it's even worse because the isolation of not only what you're doing in your business, but personal life, it just amplifies this exponentially. So please do yourself a favor. When things get dark, when the world is lonely, connect with someone. Connect with a fellow entrepreneur who understands, who's been there, who's gone through the struggles, who's experiencing it. It may not be the same struggles you have, right? You know, you may have had an incredible sales day and they had a crappy legal thing. Like, let me tell you, you want to talk about a funk? I'm going to just open up and share something. This morning, we got a letter, not a letter, an email from our accounting firm. And our accounting firm had miscalculated taxes. And so we had a surprise tax bill in December. And today I woke up to a surprise $20,000 additional tax bill that we have to pay. Now, I'm happy to pay the tax bill. It's what I owe as a citizen. It's what I owe to the country. It's taxes that run and fund things. But man, that surprise, that like we planned, but we didn't plan well enough. And that just took the wind out of my sails. And let me tell you, there is nothing that can fuck with your head more than you having a plan to do something and something like that getting in your way. And so something as simple as, and my tax bill, you know, is some people's like, you know, to them, it's like, okay, that's what you're upset about. Yeah. Everyone has their different triggers, right? For me, it was the surprise tax bill. I know that was for my wife. Like I could see the wind just come out of her sails. I could see the deflation when that email arrived this morning. And there's nothing we can do to change that. But there's everything you can do to respond to it and how it impacts your body and your physicality and your well-being. And so I found myself quickly in this pit of despair, that what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry, I just pulled something off my screen that was flashing at me. And I realized that this isn't the end of my day. This isn't the worst thing that could happen. There are a lot of people that are going through a lot worse stuff than I am. And this is just the thing I have to deal with at this time. But something that simple can pull me into a spiral or pull a person into a spiral. And that's the stuff that I am so deeply concerned about with entrepreneurs, with especially new business owners. And there's not only risk, there's not only reward, but there's the emotional toll building a business takes on you. And as your business grows and as you have success, the dark days, they shrink, they go away. They're not as few, they're not as many, there are fewer. And the highs that you experience, they don't go as high and the lows don't go as low. Everything kind of levels out. I feel like I'm talking about someone who's manic depressive or bipolar, but that's what it is. It just kind of things level over time and you're much happier because things are just working, but you will still have those dark days, those dark moments. And, you know, when things don't work to your favor, when things don't go as planned, when things aren't working right, you're going to go down a rabbit hole sometimes. And I just want you to know that if you go down that rabbit hole, that there are people out there who will help you, not just therapists, fellow entrepreneurs who understand the struggle of what you're going through. I don't say use an entrepreneur as a therapist. I'm saying use an entrepreneur as a lifeline to someone who knows what you're going through, because not many people understand the journey of building a business. They just don't. Only people who've built the business, who've gone through the heartache. You know, Lauren from Postino, if you live in Arizona, you'll know what I'm talking about. Postino knows the struggle of building a business, a brand, now a, huge business. There are struggles that come along with every business. Do not isolate yourself during those times of struggle. reach out. So there you go. I said what I needed to say on the topic. Probably the heaviest topic I've dealt with in this live stream, but I felt like it needed to be dealt with. So now let's lighten it up. If you've got questions about startup life, your business, things that you're struggling with right now, hit me up. It's really easy. All you've got to do is drop your question in the comments or text me 480-712-4177. Hopefully I have the number right. I guess I should put on my glasses for that part because then I can see it so much clearer. 480-712-4177. Drop the comment below. Or if you want to jump on the live stream, you can do that. I've just posted the link again for you to ask your questions directly, because it's not just about me getting up here and spewing for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It's about helping you navigate whatever you're going through in your business. And because I want to be here and do that for you. So now's your time. If you have your questions, pop them in. If you don't have a question, that's cool. Yes, I am back to the zombie shirt. Thank you. My wife gets me, like I said, all these cool shirts. Hopefully the microphone issue is gone and sounds better today. I've not had any comments about that. So that tells me that the microphone is good. It's better. And that noise from the old microphone is gone. So I think we're good there. All right. I hope you've gotten something out of this today. I hope that if you started to feel that despair, that darkness, I hope that at least that spoke to you, and you will reach out to someone. There's always someone willing to help and willing to listen. And there's always someone in this entrepreneurial journey that's going through what you've gone through and is where you are and shows what you're doing. This has been an unaddressed topic for so long. It has been. And thank you. I appreciate that. You are awesome. And I'm glad that the mic is so much better. Thank you. How do you start connecting with other entrepreneurs? You know, it's really simple. Reach out to them, direct message them. How do I connect with entrepreneurs? Like, if you saw, do you remember? Okay, for those of you that follow me, I'm going to just rabbit hole. Thank you for that question. Rabbit hole for a second. And how do you stay connected since you're all so busy? Great question. Great follow-up. Okay, so let me answer both of these. How do you connect with an entrepreneur? How do you stay connected? First of all, for those of you that follow me, and if you've been on LinkedIn, got a question and I'm going to join you. Okay, great. A few weeks ago, somebody tried to do a biz dev cold call with me on LinkedIn. That biz dev cold call turned into an educational experience for this person, because I don't give up on people that fast. I just don't. And I gave them a lesson in how to biz dev in that moment. But that is a way that you can connect with other entrepreneurs. You can literally message them on LinkedIn. And I'm telling you, if you were just genuine and you said, hey, John, I've been following your company for about 3 years now. I'm starting my entrepreneurial journey, but I'm struggling with this thing, or I'm really struggling with this part, and I think you've mastered it. I'd love to chat with you if you can give me 15 minutes of your time. Would you be open to that? Do you know how receptive I would be? Well, don't call me John, but do you know how open and receptive I would be to someone messaging me that way? Because it's genuine, it's real, it's heartfelt. It's not some bullshit way of getting in touch with someone. It's not some way to try to circumvent the back door or the front door so that you can get in the back door and have a conversation. No, it's sharing what's going on for you, your truth, what's real. And so I would totally be open to and receptive to having a conversation with someone that way. So that's how you open the door. Continuing the dialogue is actually fairly easy. I continue a lot of my entrepreneur dialogues this way. I send random texts. I cannot speak today. Maybe I need another sip of coffee. I will send random texts to entrepreneurs that I'm connected to. I will shoot them quick emails, by the way. I'm getting better and better at doing one sentence emails. It has been one of the biggest struggles for me to send a brief email to someone. I always want to just go deep, and I'm trying to get really, really quick with my messages. But quick messages of support, of care, of thanks, of gratitude, just connective touch points, because you don't need to have a deep conversation every day, but once in a while you do. To your point, to your question, I will email some of the people that have mentored me. I will email them randomly and just send them thank you notes, appreciation messages. And I think that goes a long way with keeping that relationship fresh, and also keeps it open so that when you do have that struggle, when you do have a real challenge that comes your way, it's easy to just type them a message. It's easy to just get on your phone and text them. That's how you keep the relationship healthy. You just let them know that you're watching them and they're watching you, and you have each other's backs. Entrepreneurship is not about stabbing people in the back. It's about having each other's backs. And too many entrepreneurs have it wrong. They think it's about stabbing each other in the back, or let me get over on this guy. No, it's not that way. It's not stabbing each other in the back. It's helping one another. Having each other's back is way more important. So, Todd, what's your question? The struggle is with prospecting, trying to find business owners who are adventurous enough to keep reaching out to the public. The struggle is with prospecting, trying to find business owners who are adventurous enough to keep reaching out to the public. Now, Todd, I'm wondering are you saying that in the context of the topic today? Like, if they're struggling, they're adventurous enough to keep reaching out to the public? I'm not quite sure. So if you could follow up with that, I want to make sure I understand the context of your question, and I will get back to you. I see someone popping into the stream. Ralph, now, Todd, what is up? Are you saying that in the context of the topic today? Like, I see you. Everybody sees you. What's up, Ralph? Enough to keep reaching out to the public. I'm not quite sure. So if you could follow. There's an internet delay. In the context of your question, and I will get back to you. I see someone popping in the stream. Ralph.
What's going on, Ken?
What is up?
How you doing?
Okay, Ralph. So there's an internet delay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak, ask you what your question is, what you want to chat about, and then I'm going to let you go to town. Okay? So go.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I can hear it on my side too. I don't know what's going on.
All good.
All right. What's going on, Ken?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on my AirPod to listen and make sure that we don't have this problem become like squirrel us down the path. Okay?
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Ken, first of all, I can relate to the story that you were saying earlier, being lonely as an entrepreneur, and struggling just being by yourself and being isolated in any environment, just thinking about how you're going to get out of it and how you're going to build your business, being alone. One of the things that helped me out, I was in sales and personal training, and I had one of my friends that was also very new to the field, and we just had a competition. So he said, "How many no's can you get today?" And we just started talking to people, trying to build a conversation with them. And we got like a bunch of no's, and we came together. They said, "How many no's you got?" "I got 20. I got 15. All right, let's get more no's," until one of us got a yes, because that was the goal. But we were just building each other up to see how many no's we can get, because eventually you'll get a yes from those no's.
I love that, because people. So a lot of people at the beginning of their journey don't like rejection. Here's the truth, and no one will share this. No one likes rejection. It doesn't matter if you're at the start of your journey, the middle of your journey, at the end of the journey. But what happens is that rejection builds you up and makes you stronger and teaches you things, because it teaches you, what objection did I not overcome? What question did I not answer? What did I do to not give that person confidence in me and what I could do for them and their business? So I totally get that. And I love that you made a game out of it, because you then push yourselves to do something, and you're supporting one another together, which is awesome.
Exactly.
So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ralph. Any other questions?
So the question I got is, so I'm in an online fitness business. I help working professionals stop cravings and lose weight permanently without giving up sweets. And my issue is now, because I do high ticket training, is brand awareness, because a lot of people are not buying because of the whole COVID, so they're using that as an objection. Of course, I'm making some sales, but it's not as I would like it to be, and my
Okay.
ROI is not as I would like it to be. So wanted to focus on building brand awareness, but I never did that. My coaches teach me pretty much conversion ads and call it a day.
Right.
And I have no idea about how to build a brand
Okay.
and on using Facebook. So that's my question to you.
All right. So let's start with the basic foundation of building a brand. By the way, Ralph, have you read my book?
No,
Where are you based out of?
New York
Okay.
in COVID, in the
I'm
COVID.
gonna ship this to you. You're gonna get a copy. I'm gonna mail this to you. Sorry, I'm just getting it centered on the camera. I'm sending this to you. So when we're done, I want you to DM me your address, and I'm gonna ship one of these to you.
Appreciate it.
It actually talks about how I built my business, my brand from the ground up. And but I will tell you the roadmap to this is really simple. It's creating content and putting content out there and sharing your journey, sharing the story, sharing the struggles, the challenges. You know, when I started this thing, it was started by accident in a spare bedroom of my home. And every step of the way, I shared and talked about what was going on in the business, how this was going on and how this was happening. And every piece that I put out there, people would follow and like. And we have some, so this is really cool. We have some clients that are with us since day one that have followed the journey of this company since like the day it accidentally started, which is so cool.
You're on mute.
Go. Better?
There we go.
Uh-oh. Okay. That was super weird. Let me make sure everything's working. Yeah, just like my audio went dead for a second.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, now I'm back on the good mic. There we go. Okay. So I got to be careful. I got a brand new microphone in here today because everyone was saying my other microphone was making noise. And so we swapped it out and got a new Rode mic. And so just working through the technical stuff. But documenting and bringing all of this content online and sharing the journey allowed people to follow the brand. And so we have people that have been following it since day one. But if you watch what I'm doing now, I'm filming everything. I'm turning everything into content that has value for other business owners and entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out the steps along the way. How you build a brand is stop worrying about just conversion, right? If you focus on conversion, if that's the only objective, you're not building a brand. You're only building a sales pipeline, a funnel, right? That's all you're building is a funnel. Mm-hmm. And so what's the problem with a funnel is that when you stop putting dollars into the funnel stops working. Mm-hmm. When you stop putting dollars into it, it just dries up. When you build brand awareness and the economy gets rough and things are a little bit difficult, the brand is what keeps you alive. Mm-hmm. And so how old are you, Ralph?
28.
28. Okay. If you had, and I'm going to do this, I did this a couple of weeks ago. If you had a cut on your finger and needed to wrap something around to protect it, what would you use?
A Band-Aid?
Band-Aid. Band-Aid is a brand. It's actually a bandage, right? If you had
that's true. Yeah.
You got to blow your nose because you had a cold, what would you use?
Tissue?
Right. Good job. Right. But 90% of the world will say Kleenex because Kleenex, the brand, has built such a deep brand root. So people know brands and they go to brands by default. So the more content, go ahead.
At Google or like I'm going to assume. Okay.
Google is a search engine, right? But everyone says, oh, I'm going to Google that. You don't hear people saying, I'm going to Bing that. I'm going to Microsoft that. I'm going to Yahoo that. No, they only say, I'm going to Google that, right? It's a brand that has built such a reputation, such a deep connection with its customers. Google doesn't have to advertise Google. Google is Google. Everyone uses Google. So the same thing for you and your business. What you need to start doing is creating such a big brand presence. Put content out there, show people how to do things right, how to do the right. You know, my son is now getting certified as a personal trainer. He's an A student in high school, going into college, playing football, but he wants to start getting his certification now. And he realized he was doing his squats wrong. and because he was taught the wrong way by a coach. And so he's now corrected his form, right? The value that you can bring as a trainer to people. Here I am, I'm 53. I don't want to injure myself working out.
Me?
What? No, I'm fine. Did my audio go away again?
Okay.
Or are we good?
No,
okay.
I think maybe my internet went away. Well, go ahead. I'm here.
All right. So the value of a personal trainer, of a coach, to me, is making sure I don't hurt myself, right? I don't want to injure myself. So you can start building a library of content that you put out there that shows people the right way to do this, the right way to lift this. Hey, if you're doing shrugs, here's what you're trying to build up, right? You can create a library for your brand and make sure that everything you do is just, you're constantly putting yourself out there, and you're doing it to build awareness, to build that head of steam behind you. Because when you do that, and I don't know if you saw yesterday when I was on, I shared my content tracker and how we build, right? Then you start putting that content out and you start rotating it and you start recycling it. And then what happens is in 6 months, 9 months, you've got 10 pieces of content going out on every platform every day, and you're building your brand, right? By the way, I did not invent this model. This is the Gary Vaynerchuk model. Gary owns this. He doesn't own it. He gives it away freely. But one of the things that I asked him a long time ago is, doesn't it frustrate you when you tell people, here's how you do it, and then you see people not do it? And he said, no. He said, because Spanky, if one person does it, if one person follows their dream and does something and implements, great, then I've made a difference on that one person. And so I've started to learn that I can't be frustrated when people don't take the advice and run with it. You've got to find that you want to do it for yourself. But man, the more content you put out there, the more you put yourself in front of the camera, and the more you share value without expectation of getting something in return, you're going to blow up. And that's what happens, because people know you, they like you, and they trust you because your intent is nothing but helping them. Does that make sense?
Makes 100% sense.
By the way, I still need working on this. I've got COVID flab. It hasn't become COVID-19. It's COVID-4.
COVID-4.
No,
okay.
I've gained 4 pounds, but I feel it. Like, I feel so fat right now. And by the way, I know I sound like a woman because listen, I feel fat. I feel fat right now. And I probably just insulted every woman that's watching this. I'm sorry, but that's what I feel so fluffy because of not being in the gym and not working out and I know that I can do things about that. So how do you motivate people in this time? And I'm not asking you to motivate me.
Yeah.
How do you motivate people as a trainer to get rid of the COVID-4 or 5 or 19? Because that's what's happening with people. Everybody's feeling soft. They're feeling a little bit stressed, so they eat more. They're lonely, so they eat more. They're tired, so they eat more, right? So how do you navigate that as a trainer? So that's where you can bring like value immediately today, right now, that starts building your brand exponentially for years to come. Makes
sense. Gotcha. So my target audience is mainly women. I mean, that's like the big market that tends to buy fitness stuff. So I was guessing my issue, I don't know if being a male will mitigate me from them watching my stuff or wanting to watch my stuff, because there's not that instant sense of rapport, or I should just go through and test it out, see how it goes.
So do you have this belief that because you're a guy, women will not watch your stuff first?
Well, a while ago when I was running ads, so when I was trying to get one-on-one personal training clients one-on-one, when I put my face in front of the ad and I was speaking in front of the ad, like I barely got any clicks. But when I put my female clients in front of the ad first and put my face last, then I got a whole bunch of clicks and I was able to get some clients that way.
Right. So that experiment, that test ran for how long and for how much money and to what size audience?
It was just in New York. So it was maybe like 40,000, not a lot. Okay. But I was able to get a really big ROI because of it.
Great. So what I would do is continue to test that, but as a side note, push your content out there at the same time, because the more content you push out there showing you doing your thing and training suddenly builds your credibility. So now when they see your ad and they see your face, they go, oh, I know who that guy is.
Yeah, good point.
That's the guy.
Good point. So the other question is how do you do it on Facebook in terms of the brand awareness? Like,
so
in terms of the campaign.
How do you get the campaign structure? So I do it. There's no right way or wrong way. I do my way. And my way is not necessarily what everybody agrees with. By the way, I absolutely run counterintuitive to what every marketer tells you to do. I march to my own beat, dude. Everything that every marketer tells you to do, I don't do, because I think it's all bullshit tactics designed to sell people, but not designed to build relationship. And I want to build relationship, because when you build relationship, your sales are going to be much healthier long-term, because they know, they like, and they trust. And so for me, tactics, I'm not a big fan of. So what do I do to build a brand? I run 3 campaigns simultaneously. And the first one is I run a PPE, a paid post engagement. And why I'm doing that is because I want engagement in my ads, because as I mentioned yesterday, you get social proof. Now, this is where social proof can be used for good. Right? Because now people are going, oh yeah, I've worked with this guy. He's amazing. Yeah, best trainer I've ever worked with. Oh my God, this has been such an incredible experience. So that's why I run PPE. Then on top of that, you run video views. You stack them. So you have PPE and video views for the same ad. Why? Because what you're doing is you're driving up the count to your audience. You're making sure that they're seeing it. Then off of that, you can run your conversion campaign, or you can run your what do you call it? Your mid funnel. Right? So that could be your top of funnel, and then you can move them into your sales pipeline. But I would start with high value content and lots of it, and put out lots of it. If you look at the content that I'm putting out right now, that has nothing to do, even if you look at our ads, most of them don't have an ask. They have a learn more. And I've built a 7-figure business without a hard push to sell. Why is that? And it's not because I have the beautiful face. Ralph, you are a much more handsome man than I am. Okay. I would pay dollars to have that look. Because you got it going on. But here's the thing. I know that people know, like, and trust my brand because I've built it. And because they know that, like, I am very, very public. When a customer's not happy, Mike Fowler, he is my poster child for an unhappy customer. And I love Mike now. And for years now, we've had a relationship because of this experience. Mike came in, and I'll share this story because I think there's so much value in it. He was a client, came in, ordered some ad copy from us, hated the ad, like hated it viscerally, and said, I don't like this, rewrite it. And if he's watching this right now, I hope he's watching, because I absolutely love the guy. We rewrote the ad for him based on his feedback. We sent it back to him. And he didn't hate the second one. He just disliked it. So he hated the first one, disliked the second one. And our head copywriter said, listen, do us a favor. Test all 3, the one that you've done, right, against our 2 ads that we've supplied you. He tested them, and you can actually go see his review on Facebook. And we featured it on our website as well, because it's so awesome. He tested that ad, the one he hated, against the one he didn't like, against his. And the ad that he didn't like outperformed his like 3-to-1, and the ad that he hated outperformed his like 4 or 5-to-1. And so the reason I share this is because that's part of building the brand. I'm willing to share things like that and share failures. And do we have 1,000, thousands of happy clients? Absolutely. Do we have a couple of grumpy, pissed off ones? Absolutely. But if you hide from that, if you pretend that you don't have that, if you're disingenuous about it, and all you show are great reviews, well, that's not real, because no business has that. We are imperfect. My company is imperfect. I have a team of writers. We are working hard to make sure our messages are on point. But a lot of times a customer, a client, has in their head a vision of what their ad should sound like or read like. And we didn't hit the mark for them because they didn't communicate something, and we have to extract that from them, right? So their experience becomes shitty because there was a communication breakdown. And then that leads to us having an unhappy customer, a bad customer experience, but we try to fix that always. We want to make sure we fix that. So even clients that have bad experiences or experiences that are not favorable to them, we make sure that we do our best to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of building a brand, and never hiding that as you're building it is so critical, because when you hide it, when you hide the shitty comments on your ads, when you hide the snide remarks on your ads. Now, I will take down people who swear on ads or who say, because that's just not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hide from that or hide a negative comment about your business, which we never do, we just take them on head on because we don't want unhappy customers. You've got to start doing the same. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have unhappy clients. What I'm saying is you have to be that transparent. When you are transparent with the world, that's where your brand grows.
Mm-hmm.
When you show people what's going on, the process, how to get there, you share your journey. That's what fuels your business and makes people want to follow you. It builds the brand. It's what endears you to people. And that's how you build a brand.
Gotcha.
That's a long fucking answer.
Yeah, I'm about to go. I got to rewind and watch this when he posted on the Facebook.
All right, Ralph, thank you. I appreciate you. I want you to DM me or email me your address, and I'm going to get this book shipped out to you like this week. Okay, right. It's on me. It's my gift to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ken.
All right, Ralph. You take care, man. So there you go. That's how you build a brand. Todd, you got to follow up now. I do small business marketing. I focus on local businesses, helping owners see the future beyond the shutdown has been the struggle. Todd, here's the problem. The business owners that you're dealing with are so blinded by fear. Go back to, Todd, watch what I did yesterday. Go watch part of the live stream. Go watch the whole thing. It's not that long. And see what I said yesterday. They're so stuck in the fear because they're consuming stuff that is really becoming their focus. I times F equals PR. Information times focus equals personal reality. So the information they're taking in, they're getting focused on that, right? That becomes their focus, which becomes their personal reality. What you've got to do is help them pivot. And how you help them pivot is say, listen, business is going to continue. It has to evolve in order for everyone to get through this. In the first couple of weeks, Todd, I shared this online 2 weeks ago. In the first couple of weeks after COVID started, we saw this dip in monthly recurring revenue. We had clients like they were jumping ship like the Titanic. Now, this was happening to businesses, and I'm seeing it happen right now at Omnicom, BBDO, all the big agencies. People are jumping ship because they're afraid. But here's the reality. This might be the new norm for a long time. Now, we hope not, but this could be the new norm. And online sales and online marketing is going to be the way, the path that leads them to redemption. It's going to lead them back to a healthy business. So getting them to embrace this now, getting them to be early adopters, encouraging them to stop watching the news and listening to the dread and the doom and the gloom is the hardest job you're going to have right now. You have to re-educate them and get them to understand that this is the future. Now, alternatively, they can go back to newspapers. They can go back to radio. They can go back to, if they have budgets, television. But this is the most practical, cost-effective way for them to move forward as a business. So part of it's going to be therapist, part of it's going to be business coach, and part of it's going to be helping them understand that the healthiest way for them to get back on track today is to put their energy and their money into building their brand, building their business online. And by the way, I'm a huge proponent of brand building. If you've not started building your brand, do it now, like today, because right now the price of attention is so low online, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. The cost of playing is so low that you can take your good pieces of content. In fact, that's what I'm doing today. As soon as I'm done with this live stream, today I'm going to spend 4 hours working on looking at the data from all of the organic content we're sharing across all the platforms, seeing what's resonating with the audience, and then amplifying that with dollars. Why? Because building a brand also allows you to build sales. Building a brand is not exclusive to just building a brand and awareness. It actually drives sales. But what you have to do is find the pieces that resonate with people, find the pieces that have an emotional connection. And you can see that in the data, right? You're going to see the ones that are viewed most, shared most, commented on most. You're going to see that across all your platforms. And then you take dollars, marketing dollars, and you amplify that message. And when you have pixels going on LinkedIn and Facebook and all these other platforms, you now have the ability to remarket to people off of your brand. That's what you need to convince your clients to do. And maybe Todd, pull out a snippet of this and have them watch that, because I know sometimes hearing the message from the person who's trying to give them guidance versus hearing the message from someone who has nothing to do with their business can make all the difference in the world. Hope that helps. So, okay, man, now I'm fired up, and I'm 50 minutes into this. Holy cow. Well, 47 technically. All right. So if you've got any other last questions, now is the time to pop them in. Todd, I am so grateful. Thank you. And I hope that helped. And I hope that made sense, because that's the way forward. That is truly the way forward. That dip that we saw right after COVID started, it was like this dramatic, it's like going over a waterfall, right? And then all of a sudden, what happened? We hit the bottom. And then all of a sudden it started to come back, and we're starting to come back with new people. And then we're starting to come back with businesses that work with us that said, oh, I panicked too soon, right? Because they panicked, they didn't pivot. And I've been saying since day one, this is not the time to panic. This is the time to pivot. And that's how you help your clients pivot, is show them the way, be a leader, be a pathfinder, if you will. Okay. So that's it. I think I've done it. Unless there are any more questions, now is your last chance. Drop them in the comments. You can do a last text round, 480-712-4177, or jump in on the live stream if you have a last minute question that you want to ask. And tomorrow, I think I'm going to go deeper into more Q&A with you guys about your marketing, your business, your strategy, I keep getting these. It's so funny. I love how people work, and people are really funny. They don't want to respond to something online, so they wait till you're offline and then they message you. And I connect with a lot of people, so they'll DM me personally and say, hey, could you talk about this tomorrow? Could you share this strategy, or how do you do this? So I really want to do more and more of these where you guys are just driving the conversation rather than me doing topic driven. This isn't talk radio, and I don't want it to be talk radio. I want it to be super helpful for you and your businesses. As I've been saying, when I do my Bonjoro videos with our new clients, my goal right now is to help as many business owners as possible, to help as many business owners overcome their challenges as we navigate these really murky waters that we've never been through together. And so my goal is to do that with you guys daily in these live Sippin with Spanky videos. So I'm here. I'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to get into some more business Q&A. And until then, I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. Go out and crush it. And I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific.